would be a part of it. He has pulled out of this. What are your thoughts as the architect of the campaign finance bill in the Senate?
Well, my first thought is that Barack Obama is going to be a great president. I am absolutely moved by his candidacy. I will be very excited to work with him as the new president. But in this particular issue, I wish he had not made this decision about his campaign. He was one of the very first senators to come forward and co-sponsor our legislation to fix the system. But the system is primarily broken when it comes to the primaries, as Senator Obama just witnessed. The general election system is not broken in the same way, and there is no good reason, in my view, for a candidate to say that $84 million isn't enough, given the exposure that both of these candidates have already had. So it's a sad moment. Hopefully, again, under President Obama, we will aggressively move to change the system and fix it across the board, because the new election, of course, starts right away. In 2009, even in 2008, people start running around to Iowa. We need to get this in place and fix it, but I do regret that for the first time, a candidate is not going to be taking public financing in the general election.
What about his argument that when you're less well-known, you're at a disadvantage if you can only spend a certain amount of money, even if the opponent, in this case John McCain, can only spend that amount of money as well?
Well, that would mean we wouldn't have any laws like this at all. If you can make the argument that you're not very well-known, therefore you should be able to do whatever you want and not abide by a public financing system that has been in place for 25, 30 years, it just undercuts the whole rationale of having public financing, which I believe in, which Senator Obama believes in, and should be the system that we have.
On that issue of campaign finance, the issue of the 527s, that even if you're limited in both candidates to the same amount of money spent in the general election, that these 527s are not, and they can be running a major campaign, as, well, the swift voting of John Kerry in 2004 showed.
Yeah, well, you know, I think candidates that really present their message well should not be afraid of 527s. 527s are a form of speech that I happen to think actually are not allowed under the Watergate law. And Senator McCain and I actually have both legislation and litigation that would prove that. But until we have finally gotten the determination on that from the courts, the 527s may well continue. But the notion that a candidate should spend himself into oblivion as a way to counter that, I think it actually is a gift to the 527s. Candidates that show that they're willing to abide by a certain limit, get their message out, I think will appeal to the American people. But I know there's a great disagreement about this, and in the end, we're going to have to do something about the 527s.
We're talking to Senator Russ Feingold, a Democratic senator from Wisconsin, opposed to the FISA legislation that could well be approved this week. Is it a done deal, Senator Feingold, or do you think people can weigh in?
People should weigh in, even though it is a done deal for now. But we are going to have a new president. And the new president, I think, will be Senator Obama. And I know that he has sensitivity to the issues here, both with regard to the telephone issue, but even more, telephone company issue. But even more importantly, I think, obviously, he has a good sense of the intrusive nature of some of these issues with regard to the sucking up of our information, our telephone calls of an international nature. So showing public concern about this now creates a platform to try to fix this in the future. It is sunsetted, but it's not sunsetted till 2012, which is way too long. But there will be an opportunity to build public support to fix this, and I intend to be part of that effort, and I hope the new president will. So I've seen quite an outpouring on this already. Let's keep it going. Let's make it clear that there is a constituency in America that still stands up for the rights of Americans.
Senator Feingold, I know you have to go. I want to ask you about you writing to Attorney General Michael Mukasey in December, asking for his analysis of the legality of the CIA's detention and interrogation program. Have you gotten a response from him?
I am not able to talk about that right now.
Last question, the war. What is your proposal right now for withdrawal?
It continues to be the Feingold-Reed legislation that would set a timetable by which our troops would be safely withdrawn. And at the end of that period, the funding would be withdrawn after the troops are safely withdrawn. I still believe that's the only way to go. This open-ended commitment in Iraq is weakening America. It is not achieving what we need to achieve. I was just in Pakistan looking at the situation where all of our top experts agree the biggest problem is with regard to al-Qaeda and terrorism, and we've got our focus all wrong. It is draining us. Osama bin Laden said in 2004, his goal wasn't to defeat us militarily. It was to bankrupt us. And that's exactly what Iraq is doing at this point, without the benefits that the American people expected.
Senator Russ Feingold, I want to thank you for being with us,
Thank
Democratic
you.
Senator from Wisconsin, joining us from Washington, D.C. When we come back, we look at the death and the life of the comedian George Carlin. Stay with us.